This past weekend, I had the incredible honor of speaking at the high school graduation for Pierceland School in Pierceland, Saskatchewan, and I had a really great time. It was such a busy time, I'm sure, for everybody. I thought, well, maybe I'll just record myself reading this speech, because I know I was very nervous in the beginning too. It was such a strange experience for me because I don't typically get nervous talking to a group of people, but it must have been something that was really special and important to me because it got my nerves. And I'm sure there was so much going on that everybody else just kind of sat and listened, and maybe if you wanted something to look back on and hear it again, I thought, well, I'll just record it. Maybe a little bit for me, maybe a little bit for everyone else. The theme of the graduation was "The impossible journey is the one you never begin." And I loved that theme. It was really easy to write something for once I got all my thoughts straight, because really there was a million things I wanted to say. And I have a little bit to add too, now that I sat through the graduation and learned a little bit more about each of the students. I only knew one of the students quite well, and was invited by her. And I'm so proud of her, the valedictorian of the class. Very, very cool to see everybody, but especially Cadence, as she has come into being this amazing young woman. And so maybe this is for her too. I don't know. Everybody can enjoy it. Hello, graduates, teachers, families, and friends. I bet you're wondering who this random lady is that will be speaking at your big day. Well, my name is Samara, and I used to be a Hamilton, and for almost 3 decades now, I've been a Stonehawker. I grew up down the road from Pierceland in Cherry Grove, but I moved away a long time ago. After learning more and more about the kids throughout the evening, I thought I should add a little bit here too. I had an outdoorsy childhood. I had lots of support around me. I had amazing times, really quite a blessed childhood for the most part. And then as a teenager, I found all sorts of insecurities and struggles, and I found some different journeys. And so as I sat there in your graduation listening to your stories, I could connect with almost every one of you. I love hunting. I love being outdoors. I love being social. I spent time in principals' offices. I probably didn't prioritize my schooling a lot after about grade 8, grade 9. Grade 9 probably was my transitional year. I became a mom shortly out of grade 12. I was pregnant at my graduation, and grade 12 was a challenge. So I guess I connected with all of you so much for so many different reasons. I had a hard time with some addictions during high school, and I don't think many people expected it because I seem to have a pretty easy peasy life, but I had some traumas happen. I had some choices I made. Alcohol was pretty tough for me. It gave me all sorts of courage that I didn't naturally have, and I had to find that out through life. So anyways, that's a whole lot about me in a short amount of time, and there's a lot more details, and there's a lot more about me that I'll probably share over time. As I make these videos, I seem to share a little bit more about myself. Anyways, getting back to the speech, I just wanted you all to know that I have experienced a lot of everything that each of you, that was explained about you. Anyways, okay. Really, I'm just a regular middle-aged gal that happens to have some interesting life experience that has led to a knack for inspiring others. I'm honored to be here and a little bit nervous too. What does one say to a group of teenagers that they don't know, embarking on possibly the most critical step in their journey in life so far? Every night as I laid in bed the last couple weeks, I've had dozens of random ideas float by, and every night they were different, and I should have wrote them down. But now I've got them all organized, and I'll tell them to you. I thought, I could tell them about perseverance. I could tell them that high school will someday be the last thing on your mind. It's hard to believe right now, but high school is such a small moment in your life. Or maybe I could tell you the stereotypical canned inspirations. Reach for the stars, follow your heart. The sky's the limit. You can move mountains. Those seem pretty typical. And what I really want to impress upon you is that nothing from this moment forward will actually turn out typical. This is nerve-wracking, trying to impress upon or inspire teenagers that I don't know very well. But at the same time, maybe I'm so nervous because teenagers are my favorite thing. You are incredible humans that are enduring all sorts of things. And coming into adulthood is not easy. So maybe that's where my nerves came from. Teenagers are my favorite thing. You could ask me to present a full-day workshop on boundaries or values, positive self-image, brain development, effects of trauma, communication, all of the big things, and it would just fall out of my mouth effortlessly. But an 8-minute speech to inspire teenagers seems daunting. My husband and I had the privilege of speaking at our second son's graduation years ago. Equally terrifying at the time, but at least we knew those kids. I'll share with you a portion of that speech. It was a story that I told, and it's been rolling around in my head as I write this. We were sitting in church one day and the speaker was talking about trials. Our son leaned over to me and he says, "Mama, I'm so grateful for trials. Without trials, we wouldn't know how good we have it the rest of the time, and we wouldn't learn anything." And he was so right. If it's easy peasy all the time, what growth could we experience? Trials can build character. They show us what we're capable of. They push us past that place of comfort. In this next while, you will most definitely face trials. A lot of them. You'll likely find yourself in new surroundings, new social groups, hard decisions need to be made. Maybe you're the one that'll stay back and be saying goodbye to many friends while they go on their journeys. Whatever the circumstances are, I assure you that trials will abound. A key message to remember: what you find to be a challenge may not be the same for the next person, and vice versa. Do not compare yourself and your trials to anyone. We all have our niche. We all bring different specialties to the table. I have a son with specialties. Specialties is a word that is really special in our home because in our home we experience a lot of children with different disabilities. And my son decided that he didn't like being disabled. He likes having specialties. And so everyone has specialties. Everyone has abilities. Everybody has their place, the things that they can share in life. We all bring specialties to the table. That's how the world keeps turning. If you get caught in the trap of comparison, when the terms are entirely different for all individuals that you'll encounter, your results will always be skewed. How can you base your worth, strength, and ability on skewed data and expect positive results? We were butchering pigs a few years ago and had one of our friends come out to join us for the day, and his wife was busy with his 2 daughters in town at dance competition. And he wanted something else to do, anything else to do other than that. So he came out to help us. And later in the weekend, I was in town. I ran into his wife. And we chatted a bit about our different weekend activities. And she said to me, "Oh my gosh, kudos to you. There's no way I could do that. You're so brave. I'm such a wimp." Now, I'm not a stranger to comments like that because I was always a tomboy. I'd rather be out with the guys. I do hard things. I like the outdoorsy stuff. In our house, we always say that there's no pink and blue jobs. There's purple. Everybody can do anything. So it wasn't strange for me to hear that kudos to you. That's so wild. I couldn't do it. But I did not see weakness in what she had done that weekend. I responded to her, "Are you kidding? Give me a dozen big pigs to butcher. I would not survive a weekend of dance competition. You'd find me in the fetal position in the corner. You're my hero." Now, just because dance recitals are not my thing does not mean they're not necessary or important. I'm no less because I'm not drawn to that. And if my friend can't or doesn't want to handle butchering pigs, she's not beneath me. As you go out and conquer the world, you'll find your own way. Maybe you'll muddle through a whole lot of challenges. Maybe you'll have a relatively smooth ride with a few major potholes. Maybe you're the type that will succeed at everything you attempt, and an outsider couldn't find one flaw in your story, but you struggle with invisible trials. That's the beauty of life. No journey is the same, and not one person's journey stays consistent. I read a quote about 6 months ago that resonated with me. Almost a year ago, I had gone through a major journey shift. Leaving the career I'd known for 22 years, family dynamics had shifted, finances were tight, my self-worth was in the dumps. I didn't know who I was anymore without the life I had known for so long. I was experiencing troubles in my extended family. There was a big old cloud just sitting over my world. I still had amazing support around me. I had my husband, my children. I had so many friends rooting for me, but what I was feeling was real, and I was lost. And then one day, while scrolling Instagram, it popped up. Basically, it said, life only changes for the better when things are worse. If it's not bad enough, we get comfortable. We become complacent. I did a whole other YouTube video on this comfortable complacency and how it affected my life. And it's just so powerful. We become complacent and we don't make changes. It needs to be worse. It needs to get uncomfortable before we are moved to change. It struck me deep that day. If I could give you any advice, practice making those changes and facing the challenges before it's worse. Another motivational phrase I've been using recently that goes along with the comfortable complacency topic: what's the worst that could happen? Now, I don't mean for you to dwell in negativity, focusing on doom and gloom, but seriously contemplate the many potential outcomes of each situation you face. And then challenge the worst possibilities. Almost every time that we ask ourselves this question, we'll find ourselves with no reason to actually fear or avoid that hurdle or that anxiety-inducing task. I applied this constantly as I approached everything in my dark cloud this last 6 months, and I have literally had the world open up before my eyes. Doors opened, problems found solutions, fears were squashed. I found myself again. This journey you're about to embark on will require you having boundaries. This doesn't mean build walls to keep everyone out. Boundaries aren't a negative thing. This means establishing your priorities and holding true to them. Finding the confidence to express those boundaries to those around you is important and can be quite difficult. I know I didn't have strong skills in this area early on in life. That's probably why I struggled so much as a teenager. I wanted to fit in. I didn't know what my priorities necessarily were. I struggled with self-worth, all sorts of things. I couldn't say no. I really wanted everyone to like me. Some call it people-pleasing. It could be related to your family of origin and upbringing. What was the example that was set? What were the messages that you took in from all the examples that you had around you? Some might be give, give, give. Rest is for the weak. We're only important if we excel at everything. If someone needs a shoulder, you better offer it and find the solutions for their problems. If someone doesn't do their job, you do it for them, eventually taking on everyone else's roles so things get done. Or there's more emotionally based boundaries. Don't complain or you're ungrateful. Feelings are weak. If I disagree with them, it's an attack, so I'd better just go along with it. If I don't do as they ask, they'll withhold affection. Maybe you have a fear of letting people down, or your self-esteem is wrapped up in the judgment or the praise of others. Whatever the reason, if you lack boundaries, it needs to be rectified. Boundaries are the basis of personal peace, self-worth, success, and healthy connection. No is a strong word. When used correctly, it is healing, empowering, and protective. Use it. Use it wisely. Use it with confidence. Choose to use yes only when it sits well with the boundaries you've laid out for yourself. Use both of these words without any shame. I'm confidently assuming that everyone in the class, everyone in the room really, has a smartphone, a tablet, or some connection to the online world. It's a fact that we're bombarded with images, 10 to 30-second clips of entirely inauthentic views into people's lives. If this is what we set as the norm, as the way to gauge our worth or success, I can assure you that you'll find a whole lot of negativity, insecurity, self-pity, shame, maybe even resentment and envy. It's not real life. Of course, you might find excellent sources of inspiration. You will encounter incredible stories and people that will uplift you. You can get that much needed comedic relief for regulating yourself. But even those shouldn't be a part of your gauge. The best success comes from figuring out who you are, what makes you tick, what makes you truly happy, and then working towards making those your priorities. And last but not least, be vulnerable and live authentically. This is my life theme, my eternal goal. And if I only influence one person to do this in my time on this earth, then I've succeeded. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's not meek. It's not soft. It is the courage to show up and be seen when we have no control over the outcome. Vulnerability is terrifying. The courage it takes to reveal your heart is one of the most daunting and yet rewarding experiences in life. It will set you free. And to be authentic, authenticity is to have the courage to be 100% yourself. The good, the bad, and the ugly, the nervous, the flamboyant, or the subdued, done up or dressed down, completely grounded or spinning out. It requires emotional awareness, healthy social supports, exploration of your values. If we can embrace our authentic self and share it without shame, we will move mountains. There, I snuck in one of those canned answers. Paper problems. Living with authenticity and inspiring others with our authenticity is not about showing off. It's sharing who you are with pride, gratitude, and humility. When you mix vulnerability and authenticity, the growth you'll experience and the peace you'll find will overwhelm you. People are drawn to those that can practice these two things. It breeds trust. Practice trusting yourself. Be proud of all you've done to this point. All things count. Whether it seems big or small, it matters, and it's a part of who you are today. Own it. It's yours. When it's not all roses, because it won't be always, find the lesson in it, and then it's turned into a positive. Of all the horrible things that I've experienced in life, all the hard stuff, all of the soul-harming stuff, all of it had a lesson in it, and I'm grateful for every moment. I wouldn't change a thing because I've been able to see the silver lining or the lesson or the growth that I've made after experiencing all the tough stuff. Try to keep that perspective as you bump into some of your trials on your journey. Keep an open mind, an open heart, and challenge yourself to grow in some way at all times. Look at any situation you come across from all positions, while honoring your values and boundaries without stomping on someone else's. I'm here to tell you this journey is going to be amazing. Enjoy. Congratulations to each of you, and thank you for trusting me with your time on your big day. It really, truly was an honor to speak to you, to your families and friends, to the community, and to see and experience the tight-knit group that you have. Treasure it always, to have such a small graduating class where you spent so much time together all the time. I loved hearing the stories. You all should be very proud of yourself for making it through. High school is hard. High school is boring. There's so much happening all the time, and what I got to see through the video clips and through the stories that were shared, you all have incredible personalities. I love having fun. I love being stupid. I think that we grow and bond so much through silliness, and I think you guys have a lot of that, and that's awesome. I love that you have relationships with your teachers. That really matters. That goes a long way, and hold on to that. As you embark on all of these new adventures, on your journeys that you are beginning, just remember to love yourself. Give yourself some space to mess up, and forgiveness. Be soft on yourself. Be soft on others. We don't always know what their journey is, and maybe they need those bumps in order to grow. Maybe we're supposed to be there to kind of hold them up as they go through their journey. But whatever you do, find the positive, find the lesson, and remember that you are incredible in your own way. You were built to be you, and you matter. Congratulations, and thank you for having me there.